Hi folks, welcome again to the channel. Juan here from Physical Media EU. Today we have another 4K release to review, in this case the Criterion release for Anora in 4K. Hello again and thanks for tuning in for another review. As I was saying, today we're going to check out this new release by Criterion of Anora in 4K. But before we start, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you're interested in physical media, especially Blu-ray reviews. And also you can find me on Instagram, which has the same handle, Physical Media EU, where I post detailed photos of all the items that I review, of course including this one. And in case you don't know the movie, Anora is directed by Sean Baker, who also directed movies like Tangerine and The Florida Project, which by the way is going to be released by Second Sight Film, just like Tangerine here. And he also did movies like Red Rocket for A24. And he makes film independently many times. He edits the movie himself. For example, Tangerine here attracted attention because it was filmed with iPhones, because they didn't have enough budget to have real cameras. So if you don't know his work, I definitely recommend go check it out. And the plot about Anora is about a sex worker that marries the son of a Russian oligarch, which looks like a good escape for the type of life she has at that moment, and slowly things start to get sour. It's a very good movie. It won several Academy Awards in the Oscars of this year, 2025, including Best Director, Best Actress, Best Movie, Best Supporting Actor, Best Screenplay, and Best Film Editing. So definitely an amazing work here for an independent movie. Won so many Oscars, then they get a Criterion release, and together with this one they announced the release of another of his movies, The Prince of Broadway. And it's not the first time that Criterion makes a release for Sean Baker. They also did this one, Takeout, which is his first movie, was also the film on digital in this case, because again, like not enough budget, and I can also definitely recommend watching this movie. With that said, let's begin by taking a look at this digipack of the Criterion release for Anora in 4K. Front, back. Here, if you want to pause the video to read this more in detail, now is a good time. Now here is the spine for one side and the other. Now we remove the slipcover and we see the digipack here. Let me show you how it looks. Both sides open. This looks so nice. I really like it, and I have something extra to show regarding this, but see on the inside, this is how it looks. 3 discs, 4K, bonus features, and Blu-ray disc. All the discs look so nice. I think, look, it's such nice artwork, and also it's included this booklet, which kind of resembles, you know, one of those magazines that you can get at cinemas. So let's check it out here. On the inside, even the paper is different. On the inside, more kind of like you know, those cheap magazines. And as you can see, it's also monochrome, or the pictures are not in full color. And it has this essay by Dennis Lim. And yeah, I'm not gonna show all the pages because it's just like not entertaining enough. But this essay is about 12 pages, if I'm not wrong. Then here are some photos on the center of the booklet. And here is one more essay. This one is definitely shorter. This must be like 5 pages, if I'm not wrong. And then at the end, some production credits and special thanks. And also mentioned that in the shrink wrap there was this sticker that says that it's a 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo. So in my opinion, it's a very good looking release by Criterion. Something that I still can't figure out why it happens is that releases like this one have this kind of like cardboard, you know, digipack style, while others have this traditional Blu-ray case. I'm not sure what's the difference, why they do it like that. Both of these are catalog numbers above 1,000, because I used to think that they were doing this only for catalog numbers about 1,000, but no, here's one that is 1,200, that is different. So I'm not entirely sure what's the criteria they use to make this decision. If you know, please let me know in the comments. I'm very interested to find out why. Now moving on to the contents of the disc, let's start talking about the picture quality. And one of the first things to mention here is that the 4K disc doesn't have Dolby Vision, but it does have HDR. I mentioned this because the quality on both the Blu-ray and the 4K disc is very good on both, and I would say that even for most of the scenes, the Blu-ray looks 99% as good as the 4K disc. but most of the scenes that happen at discos, at parties, in the dark and so on, those look better in the 4K. I think there's where you can see the difference between the discs. But in general, the Blu-ray has also been very good. And for example, if you have seen the movie, that first scene that happens with that dance at HQ, that looks so good in the 4K that is definitely stunning. But again, with those minor exceptions, the Blu-ray disc has been very good. Now, for the audio track, it has a 5.1 DTH HD that works very well, especially for all those party scenes inside the disco and so on. I thought that the music sounds great there, and also you can hear the dialogues very clearly, even though they are in very noisy scenes. Finally, moving to the bonus features disc, this is also very welcome because this movie is very new. This movie came out in 2024, and it's not very common that new productions will have so much bonus features. So it came a little bit of a surprise to me that there was a whole dedicated disc for bonus features, but at the same time, Criterion wouldn't do a release if they only have like a trailer and an interview, right? I'm sure that they would do something more, but still surprising that they have enough material as to have a dedicated disc. But besides this dedicated disc, the bonus features included in the 4K and the Blu-ray disc is only extra audio commentary tracks. There are 2 extra in each of the discs. The first one is with Sean Baker and his producer, cinematographer, and I don't know if it's someone else. And the other one is again Sean Baker, but this time with actors. And I haven't listened to that last one yet, but the previous one, because I'm more interested in the perspective of the crew, I thought it was super interesting because they talk about location scouting or like why they did things in certain ways and so on. So I normally find those more interesting. But at some point I will watch also the one with the actors because I'm especially curious to see the difference between what Sean Baker says on one and the other. But now moving on to the dedicated disc for bonus features. There we can find an interview with Sean Baker that is around 10 minutes, another interview with Sean Baker and Mikey Madison that is around 20 minutes. There is the press conference, the Cannes Film Festival that was around 40 minutes. There's deleted scenes, there's a behind the scenes that is around 40 minutes more. Also a conversation between Mikey Madison and one of the actresses that I can't recall her name right now, as they were going to a special screening of the movie that they did for sex workers. And lastly, there's also audition footage, which most of them are just a few minutes long, but still quite interesting. And there are several included, I think like maybe 7 or something like that. And a very important thing to mention here is that Anora was released in North America and in Europe. So if you get the North American version, the Blu-rays included in that version will be region A. But if you're in Europe, definitely try to get the European release because that one has region B Blu-rays. And finally, what I wanted to show is this t-shirt of Anora, which has the same image as you saw in the digipack, and this is the back. Looks awesome. I think this is a t-shirt from Neon. This is only sold in the US. I was there recently, and another interesting thing I found about the location of this movie, Brighton Beach, is that it's right next to the Coney Island beach where Requiem for a Dream was filmed. You can remember this. There are a couple of scenes actually that happen here. This is right like next to the beach where Anora happens. And I think one of the reasons that got the Oscar for Best Actress to Mikey Madison is how she could change her Los Angeles accent into Brooklyn accent. I know for some interviews that I have watched how much effort she put into it, and she completely nailed it. This is something that has been praised many times when talking about this movie. Now, yes, that's all for the review. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel, and remember to check out on Instagram for detailed photos of this release, same handle as the channel, Physical Media EU. And I would love to hear on the comments if you have watched this movie, if you like Sean Baker, and if you have watched his other movies. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all at Okie Dogs.